Hey guys, I am Karen Gretz, and if you're watching this video, I am probably in your upline. Maybe not your direct upline, but I'm somewhere in the chain above you. Very cool. Currently, my husband and I, Todd, we are trainers. Just got my trainer watch. What? Anywho, so I'm making this little video today to talk to you about inventory and ordering. So if you're tuning in, enjoy. I believe there are two things in this business that are going to make you successful. The first thing is going to be your selection. Have you ever walked into like a boutique and you were looking for something and they had 3 pieces in your size of a skirt? That sucks. That sucks. That's why we love Amazon. That's why we love Walmart. That's why we love Target, because there's a selection. We like to shop as women. We like to see selection. So we have choices. So the second thing that I'm not really going to touch on too much today in this video, but I want to mention is service. So your selection and then your service. Selection is going to get you customers. Your service is going to keep your customers. It's really difficult to keep loyal or have loyal customers here in LuLaRoe because every consultant's inventory is unique. And so I get a lot of customers shop around. But you can keep them shopping with you if you have a great selection for them to choose from and you give them great service. So to that end, let's talk about selection. Let's talk about inventory management. Let's talk about ordering. So the first thing that I want to touch on selection is that initial inventory. When you order, you get about 5 different styles in, like, I think it's 5 to 8 sizes. I don't remember off the top of my head. That's a good place to launch. And that's about it. You're going to launch, maybe have another party if your launch was not so big or the next party's kind of small, but that's about it. You need to be ordering, and you need to be ordering often. And I will tell you why. So you want to go deep in your styles before you go wide. So you start with 5 styles. Your initial goal should be about 10 pieces in each size of that particular style. So let's use the Nicole for an example. The Nicole, you want to have 10 smalls, 10 mediums, 10 larges, 10 extra larges, 10 double extra larges. In the extra small and double extra small, I know some consultants don't even carry the double extra small. I carry a little bit of them, and I say it's great for tween or for those really, really petite women. And I only carry about 6 to 8 of them in those smaller sizes because they don't sell as much. But you do want to have a selection there. So you want to do that 10 pieces or 8 to 10 pieces for every single size for each of the 5 styles you carry before you go wide, before you start adding those next lines. I know it's difficult as a new consultant because you probably have a lot of things that you love. And you're like, oh, I want to sell this, and oh, I want to sell that, and oh, I want to sell this. Well, it can get really pricey, and it's not as productive, and your sales are not going to be as high if you don't have that selection within those sizes. So your first goal after you launch and you start rolling into parties is to get up as quickly as you can to 10 of every single size of each of the 5 things that you carry. Once you hit that 10, then you can start adding a line or 2. When you add a line, you want to have anywhere from 5 to 8 of each of the sizes before you launch that line. Again, it kind of stings if you say, hey, look, I'm carrying the Julia, and the Julia is so great. And then your customer comes to shop with you, and they have 3 to choose from. Wah, wah, that kind of stinks, right? So you want to have 5 to 8 in each size when you launch, get up to that 10 before kind of moving on. Once you're more established and you're doing a party a week for a hostess, you're doing a VIP every week, you're having 2, 3, 4 parties a week, which you can and will get up to. You want to bump that sizes up to about 12 to 15 of each size for each style you carry. Your goal really should be as quickly as possible to get up to 800 to 1,000 pieces. And honestly, you really should get there before you start paying back your initial investment. I know you're like, oh, I just spent $5,000. I really need to pay that back. So we have this cool thing called MAP, minimum advertising price. So if you're partying online, that's the minimum that you can sell stuff for. And that is the highest of the range. I really encourage you to keep MAP prices at your home parties too. Why are you going to do more work to take stuff to a home party and make less money? That makes no sense. LuLaRoe is a boutique clothing company. People are expecting to pay boutique prices. I live in Arizona. The cost of living here is very, very low. I still charge MAP prices when people come to my home. And no one bats an eye. It's cost what it costs. LuLaRoe is worth it. The brand is worth it. The quality of clothing is worth it. The designs and prints and styles are worth it. If you believe that, they will too. Okay, so the next thing I want to touch on is inventory ordering. I don't want you to get into a trap where you feel like I can't have a party because I don't have anything new. Depending on where you live in the country, it can take a while for you to get your stuff. Everything ships from the warehouses in Corona, California. I live in Arizona, so I get my stuff about a week after I order it. Right now, there's shipping delays that should be resolved, but it's taking like 10 days for me, and I live so close. So if you live in the East Coast, you're 2 to 3 weeks away from having inventory from the minute you place it. You have to believe that your inventory is fabulous. If you look at your inventory and like, oh, this stuff sucks, and that's the attitude you have, that's the vibe that's going to be giving out, and your customers are going to think that too. Okay? You need to think, this is awesome stuff. This is cute stuff. They've never seen it before, so they don't know how old it is. I love getting what I call vintage row that have like the round labels, and that's what I call it. If people ask me, what's with this round tag? It's vintage. It's a vintage row. People eat it up all day long. So don't have that attitude of your inventory like, oh, this is all old, I have nothing new, blah, blah, blah. It stinks. Because people will think that too, okay? When customers ask me, you know, my VIPs or my frequent shoppers say, hey, do you have anything new in that party? Are you going to have new inventory? I just respond back, say, you never know what you're going to find in my inventory, which is true. I have stuff that I've had for months, and I know these customers have seen it for months because they stalk me and they go to every party I have. But then they find something like, oh, I never found this before. I never saw this before. And it sells. So you just have to have that attitude that everything you have is fantastic. All right, so let's talk about ordering. When you order, LuLaRoe, we're not Target. So duplicates are really not a wanted thing in LuLaRoe. And I know with your initial inventory, if you've gotten it, you may have a lot of duplicates. Or if you haven't gotten it, there's a good chance you're going to get duplicates. They only make a certain amount of each print. That amount is changing. It used to be 700 to 1,000. Now, latest I'm hearing is 2,000 to 2,500. It's still pretty limited. When they get inventory from the manufacturers every day or every other day in the warehouse. And so, sorry, my kids are distracting me. So if you place a big order and it's all packed at once, the chances of you getting duplicate items in the same size is pretty high. Psychologically, for whatever reason with LuLaRoe shoppers, if they see that you have 2 of the same skirt, they don't buy it. But if you only put out 1 in a party, it sells. It just kind of is what it is. So except for leggings, all the rest of our stuff, if we have duplicates, I only put out 1. And if they get into kind of a cat fight, oh, I want that, oh, I'm next on this, then I'll private message that person and say, hey, I happen to find one for you. Oh, hey, I got another one off another consultant just for you, and sell them the duplicate. But I don't ever put up like, hey, I have 2 of these, hey, I have 3 of those. Psychologically, for whatever reason, it doesn't sell. It just is. So to avoid duplicates, you want to be placing smaller orders more often. On a consistent, continuing basis, we like to order twice a week. That's our goal. Every Monday and like every Thursday or Friday. There's nothing special about Mondays and Thursdays. It just is enough space between the days for us, and it works in our schedule to order smaller orders more often. So let's say you have a great party and you sell, sorry, my kids, and you sell 5 medium Cassies in one party. You don't want to turn around and order another 5 medium Cassies right at the same time, because there's a good chance that 3 of those 5 are going to be the same pattern. So you order 2 of them today, and in a couple of days you order another 3. And that's what's going to give you the best selection. We kind of have our little rule that we never order 3 of the same style and the same size at a time. So let's say my Randy's are really, really low. I will only order 3 this order of each size, even though I may need 5 or 6. I'll wait a few days and then order more. Oh, does that make, hopefully I'm making sense with you guys, but frequent orders more often is going to have you, or excuse me, smaller orders more often are going to have that flow of fresh inventory coming and going. Okay? And you're also, the customers are going to know, hey, she gets new stuff all the time. So I never know what I'm going to find in her inventory, whether I've gotten new stuff or not. They don't know that. Okay? So that's one thing. The next thing is talking about the cost and that initial inventory and that initial cost. So getting up to that 800 to 1,000 pieces as quickly as you can, even before you pay off that initial investment. I know you're cringing. You're like, oh, that's $5,000. I really need that back. It's on a credit card. It's on a loan from a friend. It's on something. If you are working your business and you're partying twice a week, you will make that initial back in less than 6 months. It took me 4. I've seen other girls do it in 6 weeks. Okay, it just depends on how hard you're working it and how much your hustle is. But your first goal should get that inventory up to 800 to 1,000 pieces as quickly as you can. How do you do that? Well, let's say Cassie skirts, for instance. They're $15. You sell them for $35. If you sell one Cassie, you need to order 2. And that still leaves you $5 left over to cover the Audrey credit card processing fees and maybe throw a couple of dollars at your initial investment. So you're paying that minimum payment. If you're on a credit card or whatever, you're kind of getting that back a little bit. But you should sell 1, buy 2, sell 1, buy 2, sell 1, buy 2 until you hit that point. I know it can be tough because you're doing a lot of work. By about the 2nd month, you're like, I am working my butt off and I haven't made any money yet. Hang in there. Hang in there. It is worth it. We were profitable in our 4th month. Okay? So you can do it. You can. This grind, that month 2 to about month 4 is what I call the grind. And you're just like, I'm up late. People are messaging me. I'm tired. If I see one more pair of leggings, I'm going to like jump out a window. I get it. Stick with it. That 2nd, 3rd month is difficult. By the time you hit that 4th month, you'll be there. Okay? So I promise you, stick it out. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. Get with your sponsor. Venting is always okay. You can have your moment, just don't live in it. And have that minute where you just want to stomp your feet and stand in the corner for just a minute because you're tired. I get it. But it is worth it. It will pay off. Okay. Ordering strategies right now with the delays in shipping. Again, order often, order small orders. They're going to get packed up easier. You're going to have this constant flow of inventory, okay? And don't feel like you can't have a party because you have nothing new. They don't know that it's nothing new. And just rock out your inventory, all right? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and it made a lot of sense and it helped answer those questions for if you're getting going or if your business is stalled. If your business is stalled, I'm going to ask you, what's your inventory look like? When was the last time you ordered? Because I've been there. I've been there where I was over ordering and then I stopped ordering because I was freaked out. I was over ordering and my inventory was kind of stale and my piece count dropped. I was in the 600s and my parties weren't as good. As soon as I started getting some new flow of inventory back in, my parties picked up, and even though I had new stuff, the old stuff was selling. I don't understand it. It's just it's how it is. All right? So I love you guys. Keep working your business. I am your cheerleader. I'm in your corner. Anything you need, you reach out to me. Let me know. All right. Love you guys. Bye.